Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Rocket Rap Commentaries run-through of Legacy of the Duelist. And in this episode, we are going to be showing off the Reverse Duel, which is Seeker versus Yami Yugi. And we're doing this specifically so that you have an idea of where I prefer to go farm for DP. This match, because we're using a cheating version of Deep Draw Exodia, is stupidly easy to win. All Seeker has to do is not play the Exodia pieces, and he can win this. Duel as early as turn 5, depending on how good his draws are. And yes.
So how do you access the reverse duels?
Whilst you're hovering over the specific duel that you want to do on reverse, you can press the X button on your keyboard in order to attempt to do a reverse duel. All right. So all we need now is
we already have 4 of the 5 pieces.
Left leg.
The left leg.
That's another left arm.
No. It was close. It was very close. But we do get a graceful charity, which means just let it ride. Just let it ride, baby.
Okay, so...
Unfucking believable.
No, it's not that
So get rid of Gear Golem and Raigeki. All right, you can only play 1 Pav Duality per turn. People were shitting their pants when Pav Duality hit meta.
Leg, statue,
and we resolve Graceful Charity, and we win.
And that's why we use this Reverse Duel specifically to gain DP, because you can get anywhere between 1,000 and 1,900 DP every time you win a duel, and winning on your first turn is usually really nice for it. Also, we got a copy of Polymerization, Testorino, and Chimera, the King of Mythical Beasts. Haha.
As the Battle City tournament continued.
Hey, Odeon. I like Odeon.
He's a good guy. The problem is we don't realize he's a good guy until it's way too late.
To be perfectly honest, I like Odeon specifically because of his deck, but even then... Odeon is an interesting character in Battle City because he's very specifically Merrick's right-hand lieutenant, and yet we only actually see him participate in exactly 1 duel, specifically the duel against Joey. But in that duel, he plays a bunch of really interesting cards. He plays Temple of the Kings, he plays the embodiment of Hopopus, and he even manages to successfully summon the Winged Dragon of Ra. It just kills him in response because he's not worthy, as it were.
Right, worthiness, and then they made each of the god cards actual playable cards in a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! The trading card game TCG as of like 2014.
It was much earlier than that, actually. I think our first actual playable Yu-Gi-Oh! Egyptian God was 2010 with Obelisk. And then after Obelisk we got Slifer, but I think we got Slifer 2 years later.
Not at the same time. They wanted to test the waters first.
Well, Obelisk was one of the easiest ones to test because he's just got a Raigeki effect on him. So yes, now we're fighting Arkana with our Dark Magician focused versus match, and we're attempting very specifically to get a Dark Magician girl that is bigger than his Dark Magicians. It is actually relatively difficult to do that, mind you, but that is the hope.
Jester Lord.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of interesting things that Yugi did not actually play during this duel. Same with Arkana. Like Arkana, I know for a fact did not have Jester Lord because Jester Lord didn't exist yet. But Yugi has got a copy of like one of the third wave support pieces for Dark Magician support, specifically in Dark Magic Expanded, which is a very interesting card. But I don't think I've ever actually resolved it. Okay.
Take out the Jester Lord.
But the thing is, since we started attacking with our Dark Magician first, Arkana is likely gonna win this duel. Now all he has to do is go into 1,000 Knives, and we're screwed.
Okay, with Monster Reborn, now we can... So Dark Magician Girl counts every Dark Magician in
no,
play,
she
right?
only counts Dark Magicians and Magician of Black Chaos in the graveyard.
Right.
Which is why what I just did there was kind of stupid. What I should have done is sacrifice my Dark Magician for my Dark Magician Girl, and then use Monster Reborn on his Dark Magician in the graveyard. That way, my Dark Magician Girl would be 26, and I could run over his Dark Magician for free.
Oh, this is definitely not the strategy that Arkana was using in the episode. As a matter of fact, I am like I am most foggy on what Arkana's strategy was
very
during the
specifically,
episode.
he and Yami Yugi were doing a rather disparaging mirror match. Arkana's big thing was specifically using control effects to specifically remove Yugi's monsters with monster effects, and then have the Dark Magicians attempt to battle it out amongst each other. Yeah, he did not have Fiendish Chain in the episode.
And I noticed that during this expo on the Magicians matchup, Arkana also is not doing that stupid Shadow World
it's happening in the background,
like
actually. It is happening in the background. It's just not part of the duel.
It just adds more impact to the loss. But then again, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! We're talking about. There is no real peril whatsoever.
All right, so now we actually get to resolve Sage's Stone. This is like the only time in my life I have ever successfully resolved Sage's Stone.
I think I've resolved Sage's Stone once. That was it, though. Just
because in order to resolve Sage's Stone, you have to have a one or more copies of Dark Magician in your deck, and get Dark Magician Girl on the field. So it's already a suboptimal space for Dark Magician Girl to be on the field when you don't have all your Dark Magicians in the graveyard. And then she can't grab any Dark Magicians from the graveyard using Sage's Stone. She has to pull from hand or deck. Ooh, brain control. And yes, it makes sense. It makes sense that Yami would have brain control during this duel because he plays it against strings next.
I'm the greatest magician in the world.
Yeah. And now Merrick takes over Arkana in order to do more exposition.
Yeah, he does that a lot. First the guy is allowed to operate of his own free will, and then when Merrick realizes that he's useless, then Merrick actually takes care of dispatching him. Like, I have no need for you anymore.
Beware the quiet one.
But then,
we didn't actually get to see it occur, but Arkana's running a copy of Ectoplasma during that match. I don't remember if he was running it, if he was running Ectoplasma during the duel in the show, but I kind of doubt it because the first time I remember seeing Ectoplasma was when Jinzo played it in the GX episode where Jaden was fighting Jinzo. Now, we're on to one of Joey's more famous duels in Battle City, the one where he defeats Weevil Underwood, where Weevil plays Insect Queen, which at the time is such a terrible fucking monster. I do wonder why the fuck Joey puts this into his goddamn deck. And yes, Joey puts Insect Queen into his deck during this arc. And he's still fucking running Battle Warrior of all things. I really dislike that Joey keeps Battle Warrior in for the entirety of his Duel Masters campaign here. It is stupid that he's running Battle Warrior for the entire fucking show. Like in Duelist Kingdom, it made sense to have Battle Warrior, specifically because you had almost no other warrior options that you could pack when you're broke like Joey is. But after Duelist Kingdom, it's very specifically clear that Joey used the money that he got from winning a Duelist Kingdom, quote unquote, in order to have Serenity get her operation. So Joey is sitting on a decent pile of cash right now. And we know he's sitting on a decent pile of catch because his deck is significantly better, so why the fuck is he still running a copy of Battle Warrior?
Maybe he just...
I don't care if you like it. There are even Swordsman of Landstar is technically a better warrior than Battle Warrior is.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay, but for this episode, for this duel, if you recall, one of the big things that Weevil is trying to do out at the moment is set up an attack lock using a combination of Parasite, and Insect Barrier. But in this case, because Parasite doesn't do the thing that it did in the anime, he's trying to get away with it using DNA Surgery and Insect Barrier. And this is why one of the big things in this duel that happens just straight up did not make sense. Because in order for Parasite to resolve, it needs to be flip face up and survive getting flip face up.
Right, because his effect only resolves on the field, even though you do flip it face up as a result of attacking him while he's face down. Yeah, that was a big deviation that the anime made, because the effect of Parasite is that he summons him. He puts himself in your opponent's deck, and then he special summons himself to the field, and he burns some other thing.
He burns the person that special summoned him for 1,000 points of damage, and then he changes the types of all monsters on that player's side of the field to insect.
Go, Graceful Dice!
Graceful Dice
it's a real
had us
roll
win
of
a
the
game
dice.
because we got slightly lucky. We won a coin flip.
And thank Jesus Christ that it actually rolled for a high enough number.
I really wish that we ever got to the anime version of Graceful Dice, because the anime version of Graceful Dice is so fucking powerful. All right, so let us do the duel again. Let's start at least the duel against Strings. Hey, Strings. Strings the quiet one, yes. Yeah, Merritt calls Yami out for using a demonic possession, despite the fact that that at this point in the show, Yami understands that Yugi is actually better at dealing with social situations than I am. So yeah, he's in the driver's seat most of the fucking time.
Social situations.
Yeah. Yami, why are we running Silverfang?
Oh, so he is actually going to try doing Revival Jam, even though Revival Jam...
terrible.
Yeah,
an absolutely terrible fucking monster.
They failed to mention that Revival Jam costs 1,000 life points every time you use his ability, and Strings in the episode got to use him for free every time. Not only that,
they also failed to mention that Revival Gem's ability only triggers if he's destroyed in battle. So if you kill it with Fissure, Mirror Force, Hammer Shot, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we no longer have access to Chimera, despite the fact that we have both Berfama and Gazelle in here. Specifically because the actual way that Yami Yugi is supposed to win this is by magic shielding Slifer the Sky Dragon. Thing is, without Revival Jam on the field, Strings straight up cannot actually get out enough monsters in order to bring out Slifer the Sky Dragon. He can't do it.
So he running Slifer the Sky Dragon, whose ability is first you have to sacrifice 3 monsters to him. His summon cannot be negated, and he gets 1,000 attack and defense for every card in your hand.
You need to remember that he does still have the second mouth effect from the anime, although it's not nearly as it's not nearly as potent as it was in the anime. Specifically, it reduces the when your opponent summons a monster in attack mode, Slifer will reduce the attack of that monster by 2,000 points. If that monster's attack is reduced to 0 or less from this effect, they are destroyed.
Right. The second mouth ability.
Mind you, Strings does still have humanoid slime, and he also has Magio Sheldon. Woohoo!
What the top of the morning to you.
Magio Sheldon is a card that he would not have had because it didn't exist. It's actually a 5Ds card. And, from here, he's just going to try and stall us out. That's why we have Giant Trunade, though.
he probably has Slifer the Sky Dragon in his hand right now.
So all we gotta do is take down Humanoid Slime and we're good.
Yep.
Once he starts running out of monsters, we can just Giant Tornado the Dark Door away and finish him off. I'm trying to at this point to remember what Magio Sheldon does, and yeah, I just had to go after him instead because if he successfully tribute summons using Magio Sheldon, then Magio Sheldon comes back. But yeah, he's out of monsters, so all we gotta do is just sit on. All we gotta do is sit on Red Eyes Black Dragon, and we will eventually be able to will him completely out of resources.
Behold the almighty 5-card combination. As long as these 5 cards are in play, I am invincible.
So I can start attacking again, right, Strings?
So let us refresh. The almighty 5-card combination was Slifer the Sky Dragon, Revival Jam, Infinite
and
Cards,
Card of Safe Return.
The other thing, Card of Safe Return, and the other thing.
5.
Cards,
Infinite Cards, Card of Safe Return, Slifer the Sky Dragon, and Revival Jam, and I think it's Jam Defender? Yeah, it's Jam Defender.
Jam Defender, yep, that was it. That is a card. That's a card that says that whenever your opponent tries attacking, if you have Revival Jam in play, you could switch the target to a Revival Jam. But again, Revival Jam just defeats itself because he's too fucking expensive to use correctly.
He's gonna actually use it.
Good lord. But and his effect only works during the end phase. Jesus Christ. You know, imagine like some poor kid probably watched the episode like, oh boy, I actually got Revival Jam. And then he reads it and he says,
it's fucking useless.
But this guy sucks. This guy sucks. They lied to
you
me.
A fucking lot about this, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, that's the duel with Strings. Just get out Red Eyes, or I think
Brain
Summon
Control.
Skulls in the deck. If not, the Dark Magician.
Got it.
Switch Revival Jam to attack mode and swing.
No, now as I recall, Brain Control was like the final move of the game before Strings got into an infinite lock because of
which is
state-based
still
actions.
stupid because Revival Jam would not have resurrected to Yugi's field. Yeah, be safe, everybody.
Right, because
yes, Merrick is asking how the fuck he lost. Well, you didn't bring out Slifer, that's why.